Yes, this is you guys know him. I don't know. I don't know who this is. His name is SoulStar Sketchin. He's a youth man, freelance illustrator, and they do other things. You'd like to maybe give us a little, I don't know, what you would do your years ago. I'm sure that's fine.
Okay, well, my name is actually Rich, but yeah, I go by Soul or SoulStar on my YouTube channel, SoulStar Sketchin, or I kind of renamed it to SoulStar Sketchin Art, but either one's correct. It's fine, no matter. You can find me either way. Either one's correct. And yes, I do occasional comic book reviews. I mostly focus on the art part of it, though. Then I focus on the story, because writing is a big thing for me. Like, if you made a crap story, I'm gonna say something. Like, I'm gonna say something. Recently, I've been doing.
Probably one week we don't touch on it. It'll be pretty useful to have that.
Oh yeah.
I watched YouTube and I think they do going through Transformer and I'm doing like you could go on more after your comments season week too. So it's season one go not only go story but also go through the art.
Oh yeah.
Things that I'll talk about in a moment, but that actually adds visual element. I think my favorite thing that you've gone over is we get a Transformers comic with all the badass moments and Promise added a flip art. They did a very red colored arm and a big t-shirt out.
I mean, it's just a damn good comic. It's just damn good.
You do a damn good job reviewing it.
Thank you.
And then your art is really amazing. I highly kind of recommend links to our podcast. So I'll leave a link to your site as you do commissions. Right?
Yes, I do.
Yes, good stuff. Continue to check that out.
Please, please check it. I want people to check it out. And like I said, I do like I said, review for comics. I do review of movies. It has to be, as long as it's related to art in some way. Even if it's related to a comic, then to art, then to other media. I'll review it. Whatever. I don't care. And recently, I'm about to record. Not today, probably a couple of days. I was going to give my opinion on. I'm pretty sure everybody's heard about this one. Has Been Hotel, that became an official series on Amazon recently. Yeah, and I did a video probably almost a month now away, where I talked about the actual style of it, because I figured out what she was doing was Pop or Vivian. I figured out where our style came from one night. It's like a mix of several things together, which, I mean, that's great. It's unconventional. I like that. And I drew out most popular character, which is like Angel Dust, Charlie Moon's Morningstar is her name, and Baggy or Badgie. I still not say her goddamn name. I'm sorry. But for anybody who's a fan of that, just crucify me on that. And the video I plan to do next is related to that will be a full. I was planning to do like a full review of the series while drawing out characters that are significant to those episodes.
No, it sounds like a cool approach to the video, and honestly, stuff we're talking about. I have questions. You going today's book.
Sure. Oh yeah, before you get started, let's say right now, you need to read like 20 goddamn books, but at the same time, you don't.
My biggest compliment is you pick a big game.
Yeah.
Mark Millar.
You're right either way.
I settle on Mark Millar. I don't know why.
I just want people to know that it has been age.
Look, he's the Irish guy, okay? So you need to know.
So, more connected to this story that we're going to talk about today. This is a big comic crossover event. All of this stuff essentially is set in the. I know Miller was.
They call it Millarworld. That's the official name they call it. I didn't even know it was actually all connected. I had no idea about that. I thought it was all like separate stories. No, they're all connected. This whole time.
In 95 issues, the game came out. I think it was like July 2023 and finished in November 2023.
Yep.
Apparently, in 2014 is when these connections between all of the stories started to come into play.
Yeah.
I think with the kick-ass story, it's mentioned in some characters. One of the Chickens and I talked about twice because we're really drunk the first time we went over it. And we were one.
Oh my.
Yes, yeah. The only time in our professional career we had to be recorded. But it was a really good story and a really fun story, and one opened up that world at the time in a way I didn't expect. The only exposure I had to one was the movie.
The movie, yeah. A lot of people killed from the movie.
Yeah. And so it was fun to see that new element of the world of supervillains, but also there used to be superheroes. They got rid of them.
Get rid of them, yep.
And that comes back now. In this full swing and connects all his other Millarworld stories, Kick-Ass and even Jupiter's Legacy, which Higgins and I have gone through some, that is more loosely connected, but it's all connected. I think that he did a really good job bringing this all together when I don't think that was originally planned. And that is hard, I imagine, for a writer to pull off convincingly. You can see Batman 60-ish of like the 200 plus like issues that they just said online that I needed to read. And you can see it like all the way back to like Kick-Ass, where they're like reading comics about superheroes. There's also he left himself like a bunch of holes to connect that stuff later on.
Yeah.
He connected them by not filling in too many details in any of the stories.
Yeah, he did. He left some holes on purpose. I could tell.
There's stuff in like I don't know, Nemesis is one of the big books, and like he'll be in like New York City, and Jupiter's Legacy is like on like the New York Times or like New York Square, Times Square, like what are the video billboards or something like that. They'll do stuff like that. Yes, and I like the way again he was able to kind of retroactively bring it all together, where a lot of this stuff he left vague openings or references to characters. Like Kick-Ass, for example, there was talk about organizations, working in the shadows of villains. And you're like, that kind of sounds like
that was hinted pretty early in Kick-Ass. I know it was very, very early hinted.
Yeah, and it was a cool way to leave the door open to bring these things together, but also he didn't ever have to. And even with the Jupiter's Legacy stuff, the way that he's able to kind of weave that in to everything else, where we know the story of Wanted, leading up to what we read is there was a world that had superheroes and supervillains, but the supervillains got together and they basically wiped everyone's memories of all of that from existence in Rule from the Shadows. And so, because it's just a memory wipe, I used to think it was reality, like they changed it itself.
Like,
apparently,
I actually have a theory on that, just based on what they're saying with that. I think what they're really saying, especially to connect Jupiter's Legacy and Wanted, I think what they're really saying is those characters were there in that world already. They somehow just kicked them out, straight up. They just got wiped.
I know specifically, because I reread Wanted, and the Empire State Building's like constantly sending out a signal too, that somehow like keeps people not remembering.
No, yep. I remember that part.
There's like a whole bunch of other stuff. But
they basically Men in Black them pretty hard.
Just a giant Men in Black like memory wipe stick. Yeah. The big question, the real thing that kicks this whole book off, though, the big game one that we're talking about right now.
Right.
I think the real reason that Wesley Gibson, Mr. Wanted himself, is so mad it's because he's not Eminem anymore.
I knew someone gonna say that. I knew someone gonna say it.
He was Eminem.
All he told was Eminem. Just read the book. He's Eminem.
Yeah. And now, like in Big Game, I guess Mark Millar is like, I guess I just don't want him to be Eminem anymore, because he kind of made him into like the guy that plays Ra's al Ghul in the back.
Oh yeah.
Is that
Neeson? Yeah, I think it was Neeson.
Yeah.
I believe so. Because, it's the same guy, just older, that's all it is. He looks, by the way, he does look just like his father. He does. Straight up.
Yes. Yeah, and it's I think one of the best parts of reading what I did read before I came to this was seeing a lot of these characters return. I enjoy that while we didn't kind of see the adventures of Wes Gibson and the Wanted characters doing things up to this point, they bring them back, it feels natural, and also they've been doing things clearly, like he's just become the ruler of
everything. Yeah, just a ruler, straight up.
Yeah.
He's the king. He's the king. Straight up.
Yeah. And that in particular is a really, really cool thing to see, knowing where that character started and Wanted, just seeing what he was, kind of this guy who's fed up with his life and didn't want to do anything that he was doing. And then you go through the whole adventure of turning him into this badass supervillain.
Right.
And he just kept doing that. But also, that is his biggest flaw, is his insecurities and past. He can't get past it, and that's why he ends up losing the story. It was just a really, really natural and great.
We should probably keep saying spoilers, by the way, every time we say that.
We immediately, like from the top, we said, if you're listening to our podcast, you've read the comic.
I know. I just want to say, like, Reddit, cool, if not spoilers right now.
Yeah, spoilers right now. That is very.
We're gonna go spoil. We're spoiling the shit out of this.
Yeah. No, we're spoiling roughly like 200 issues of comics. So
yeah,
pretty good.
I mean, like, it's so many. I'm just like, look, man, there's a lot of shit here. We're gonna spoil this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not going through all these, man. It's too much.
Yes, I mean, I looked up the reading order, and it is dense. And I guess I got the same feeling that most people do when I tell them about Marvel and DC comics.
Yeah, you know, I feel the same way.
Yeah, but again, Higgins and I on the show, we talk a lot about what makes a good first volume, what makes a good comic. We haven't done an event comic before, but we've also talked, in our personal lives, what makes a good event comic. And for me, I think honestly what makes a good event comic is its accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard thing to do because your whole story is based around other characters from other stories and other comics. But not having read a lot of the Millarworld stuff, I've read Wanted, I've read the first volume of Kick-Ass, and I've read all of Jupiter's Legacy. And that's it. I didn't even read Nemesis. I read about Nemesis because that was the only one I really had questions about. I knew that.
Yeah. Well, honestly, when you think about it, Nemesis is about the same as Wanted. It's not that much different. It's just more edgelord.
He's basically Wesley Gibson's like version of his son.
Yeah.
He's like he just turned him into himself. Basically, he was a guy that was put in a shitty situation, and then Nemesis was a kid that was born to drug dealers who was in a shitty situation, and then Wesley Gibson turned him into a super assassin.
Yep.
And so basically he was like, I'm a little too old to do the dirty work now, so I'm going to get this guy to do it.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you? In his position, wouldn't you too? Shit, I would do it. Like, yeah, fuck that. Let this guy do it.
He's got a full-on Moon Knight look where he's like constantly in white. And
I mean, like I said, he's basically opposite Batman, straight up. He's opposite Batman, outright.
I think when the original one came out, the premise or the pitch to get general audiences was what if Joker became Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was the one, again, I didn't read a lot of these, but that was the one I at least made sure to kind of research because
right.
there were two versions of the story. One from way back when,
right.
It's called Nemesis. That one is not tied into this because Nemesis Reloaded is a soft reboot.
Right, soft reboot, yep.
And I think kind of going back to this idea of the retroactively wanting to connect all this stuff, the reason why he had to do just that one, like reboot just Nemesis, is because at the end of the original series, that character is
killed.
And also his reasons for doing it are a lot more sinister and selfish. I think with the original series, it's revealed that the guy who's Nemesis just was bored and rich and wanted to fuck with people, whereas the backstory that Higgins just went into, that's the new kind of more sympathetic.
It's way better.
Yeah, it is better. It's much better written.
Yeah, and I think also too, Mark Millar realized how much people with that character.
Oh, he's so good.
And this is going to be the next step of the story. Big Game is kind of in a way, works as like the Avengers Big Game. And all be all, you can leave this world if you want, but he is continuing it this year with a new comic called Nemesis Rogues Gallery.
Yeah, something like that. I read something about that.
Yeah, and the other big thing, which is more like a big kind of company move kind of thing, is this was published by Image, Big Game, and a lot of he's now moving it over to Dark Horse.
Yeah, I heard about that too. Goes from all Dark Horse stuff now.
Yeah, but I like that he's continuing this and not even, again, going back to that idea of what makes a good event comic, that ease of accessibility. Like, can I pick this up not having read most or just any of this and get something out of it? I think you can. I think that the way he writes this, while very exposition heavy, and it's like, oh, hey, look at this character. No, this character used to do this. While that is there, you do need it, but it's not done in a way that annoys you. He has thrown a lot of words at you. I think I probably could have gotten away with just reading Wanted. I think I do need Wanted to get this a little bit, but I think it's just reading Wanted. You could probably pick this up and be fine.
Yeah, you probably could. Probably could actually.
Well, you're the,
because this is there's probably a person out there that went out and saw just Avengers Endgame, not even watching the Infinity War, and they probably enjoyed the hell out of it.
Which I mean, I understand, but even though I look at folks and do that, be like, bro, come on, you know that's a lot. Come on,
not the way it should work.
No, I know.
The good thing about this style of comic is at the end of the day, people like watching some good dudes.
Oh yeah,
some bad dudes.
I mean, you can see a lot of fantastic artwork. By the way, fantastic fucking artwork.
Yes, I think that there's a couple just standout panels that I don't know. I can remember them as vividly as when I read it. And I mean, the artist in all these books has changed over time. Like Mark Millar's the only constant and all this stuff.
Right.
All these different stories.
Speaking of that, Jorge Jimenez.
Yes. Who does the art on this one?
Yeah.
Yes. And color's also a good pairing with the person I'm not familiar with. I wrote his name down because I know even with that I'm going to mispronounce it. It's Giovanna Nero.
Mm-hmm.
Big colors on this.
Okay.
Excellent colors, by the way. Really excellent colors.
Pella Ross was the artist.
Pella Ross was the artist, yeah. So I want to talk about him for a second because he's one of the newer. I'm impressed because he's one of the newer stars for comics in general. He started off in Marvel Comics, particularly on the X-Men. I've never seen him on the X-Men. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this dude. He had pretty good art. And then later on, by the way, last year, in fact, I think he's doing this and Big Game same time. The Superman Batman comic on DC. By the way, holy shit, goddamn, this motherfucker know how to draw.
Yeah, no, he's doing
goddamn
some real good comic book art. There's the blackest blacks in the
mm-hmm.
That's what I always talk about when I look at comic book art. They really know how to do a shadow.
Like he knows exactly how to sequence it in just the right angle. I'm like, god damn, this motherfucker. No, you study, bro. You study. You know shit.
It works really well for a book like this that has unique looking characters, and also they're all on the page at the same time, like just a lot of beautiful splashes.
You know what I like about his artwork the most is it looks like a good fusion between American comic and a manga. It's almost perfect fusion of it.
Yes, it definitely wears his influences on his sleeve, 100%, and it's all the better for it, honestly. Like, and I mean, I love both sides of that stuff very much. So, so that kind of technique, but it does matter that he's good at it. Great at it, and again, just the level of detail he's able to put on each page, and with so many elements happening all at once, we can never really get lost in any of it. That's kind of, we've read comics in the past. One I think off the top of my head is an older comic by Frank Miller called Ronin. Oh
yeah, I did read some Ronin. Yep, I read Ronin.
Yeah, the biggest complaint I had about the art of that is I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Yeah, because that was like the time when Frank Miller's art started to kind of like go a little sideways. You know what I'm saying? It went a little sideways.
Yeah. Yes, but you don't have that here at all, and that again is just insane considering all the characters that are on screen. I mean, even at a minimum, there's probably 4 to 5 people.
Yep.
And they're all like their own costumes. Like none of them look generic. I mean, even with some of the most generic Mark Millar characters of my memory, all look unique with this guy's artwork. Thinking specifically about the character of Eggsy from Kingsman shows up.
Yeah, Kingsman. Yeah, Eggsy was surprised to me. I was like, oh shit, Eggsy, I remember you.
Yeah, I was like, I knew that it was a part of this universe, but I did not expect to see him.
I know. I actually forgot about it. I was like, oh shit, Eggsy. Oh shit. I read that comic. That was a good comic.
Yes, and I didn't expect to see him. I didn't expect him to look like Taron Egerton.
He looks just like him exactly, by the way. Exacts. Dead on.
Yes, and Dave Gibbons, I believe, did the first Kingsman.
Yeah, he did.
He's a great artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, I think.
But by the way, I've actually talked to that guy one time. Dave Gibbons. I talked to him at least once. That was an experience.
Really?
Yes, I really did. Seriously.
What?
I wish I could name drop off that. The only thing
I was like, so I did like it was an indie comic he was doing, and I did a few colors for just like a couple colors works for him. He liked my colors a lot, man. I was pretty like, oh shit, he likes my shit. Okay, good. Oh, good.
We had a guy, but I didn't know we had a guy.
I didn't know we had the guy.
The guy. It was like one issue. That was it.
That is one more issue I think tonight.
Fair enough.
It's just really good, and again, it carries a like Mark Millar is obviously the driving force. All this, he wrote all these stories. He got the idea, and he does a lot of good stuff with this. But really, really good artist to bring in on this, and one I didn't really know anything about. While I do have my issues with West Gibson doesn't look like him.
Probably for the best.
He's still looking pretty good. You know, he's on up there in age, and he's clearly been doing
I
stuff.
mean, when you think about it, he probably does. It sounds like M now because he's got a beard too. So.
He's got a beard, and like you gotta think like he's probably like 60.
Yeah, he's got about I say about around 50, 60, something like that.
60, so like Eminem might get the gray in there just in that right spot.
Mm-hmm.
Get an Iron Man beard going eventually, because that's kind of what he's got.
He's in his sexy old man phase, so it's okay. It's all right.
Halle Berry still looks like Halle Berry.
She looks, dude. Yeah.
So I imagine that when they were going through the movie documents, they said, what do we do with the Halle Berry bit? Berry has one.
Why does she look like her? Halle Berry is just eternal, man. I don't know. She barely ages.
It's not broken.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, she looks the same. Fuck it. Just keep it.
It's a really good pairing. Like I said, I've never seen anything from this guy. I didn't even know about the work he's done with DC and Marvel, but you saying the books he worked on, the X-Men and the Superman, Batman.
Yes. Please check those out. Oh my God. Please check those out.
Yeah. It's so nice to see like talent come to work on books like this, because we read a lot of superhero stuff, and on the art side, and I think it's an artist we don't know. I think it's obviously does it out the blacks, shadows, and whatnot.
Yeah.
Our knowledge of language.
Which is, I mean, dead on. That's right. I agree.
Yes. But one thing we have to notice is when you read a lot of superhero stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you have that samey feeling with the art where it's like a standard and it looks good, but there's nothing necessarily that makes it
Like it was too generic. Yeah.
I don't have that with this.
No, this is action. I love it. Love the way you did it.
What I noticed is like he's bringing together like 20 different things. It's like somehow he brings the art style from all 20 things. It's like you see the character from the Ambassadors, and they have their art style from their comic.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Pepe actually got it like exact. You got it exact. I'm looking at it now, like you got it pretty damn exact. Like shit, he was really looking at that.
He brings in all these different things from like all these different comics, and they all look like themselves. Like Huck.
Yeah, Huck. No. I think he captured Huck perfectly. In my opinion, he got the Huck like perfect. That's exactly how it looks.
Yeah, it's not like a normal comic booky design. He's more like what I would imagine like a 50s like comic book looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And he like things somehow he puts that 50s style in for that character, but still throws him into the world that is like the nowadays version of like comic.
You know, I'll just say like so for those who don't know what Huck is, it's basically think Superman with Down syndrome, like that, pretty much.
Well, he's like the Forrest. He's like
Forrest Gump Superman, if you will. There you go.
Yeah.
They think specifically for now he's on Q75.
Yeah. So like he's not handy capable. He's just not the smartest guy.
He doesn't need to be smart. He doesn't need to. He's got a good heart. That's why I like him. Like, you know, he's just a good guy. You can't hate him.
You know, the other tough part of writing a good comic when we can have this many different stories and these characters coming together is balance.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah, definitely, yeah. I agree.
While that might not be struck perfectly here, because there are so juggled, I think that a lot of characters get good moments that, again, I haven't read, for example.
Mm-hmm.
What you see him do is just like, oh, I actually kind of... That's the other thing about this, too, that works really well as an event comic, is it makes me want to go back and read certain stories about these characters to get 100%. Like, Huck is just...
There you go.
Thing is the fraternity is the villain, the super society villain.
Yeah.
They're hunting down all the modern heroes to keep superheroes from coming back. And they go after Huck and they hit him with a nuclear bomb. Well, right before that, he's running in the Arctic. It's like, why is this guy running in the Arctic? Like, well, he found this polar bear at the zoo and realized it was separated from his family. And so now he's just trying to return it. And there's just a line where it's like, can he do that? Like, yeah, apparently he can track down anything.
Yeah, I love that line. Just track down anything. I don't know.
It's like the only reason he stopped is because he had to suck down a Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper.
which is another Forrest Gump thing.
It's such a Forrest Gump moment. It's just so like, hold on a second. Okay, let's go.
This Forrest Gump, but a superhero.
And that's so little. Like, if you just reading that, it's so little context. But it is the perfect amount of context to make you go, I like what this guy's about. And, oh, he has a story of his own. I want to go check.
Yeah, it's actually goddamn wholesome.
Yeah, and so again, while that balance might not be perfectly struck with all the characters he has to juggle in this story,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of it that makes me go, well, if I want more, it's already there. And like one of my kind of, not it's not a complaint, but it's like, I would have liked to maybe got a little more of his character of Superior.
Yeah, Superior. That was kind of basically skipped them.
Shazam, basically. Flash, Superman, stand-in. Yeah, so I did research on that one as well, because again, in this story, all you see is this is set in the modern day.
Yeah.
He used to have powers, now he doesn't, and the fraternity kills him just in case.
So you see
just in case, just kill him.
You see his cape in that guy's, which that might have been another comic I read. You see a cape in this guy's like building, I think, which that might have been a Nemesis Reloaded.
Well, so the character of Superior in the Millarverse situation is basically this kid made a deal with the devil to turn into his favorite superhero. So the character of Superior is a fictional superhero in the Millarworld stuff.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he made a deal with the devil, became that guy, and he gets his soul back at the end of the story, but as a result loses his power.
Yep.
That's where we see him now, but they just go ahead and kill him. And again, going back,
they turn him into flowers.
Well,
fucking flowers.
That is the best panel in this entire story.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad that's panel. I've never seen that. That's really good.
And there's nothing really explaining what that person did and why that happened. But you don't need it because the whole point of it is just the imagery.
See, that was the one part that I didn't know is I'm assuming it's like the super crooks or something like that, where that guy like can basically just what's her name in Invincible? He's Adam Eve. He can.
Oh yeah. Change matter and something else. Yeah.
Yeah, and then whatever the other girl is that like follows him around, she doesn't do anything. The other guy just.
He does all the work pretty much.
And she's kind of just the brains of the operation, is what it seems like.
Yeah.
Which those are those two scenes where they're in there. Those are, like Steve said, one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's like taking down the nightclub, which are like vampires.
Yeah, vampire kids. Yeah, vampire teens. Which by the way, was one of the newer ones. I didn't even know it's even connected at all. Yeah, it's one of the newer ones.
Like a little like cliff. He's got him stuck in like water.
Yeah, there's a holy water.
Holy water, but then there's a scene like later down the road where he's like they're talking about it in the car when
we haven't even talked about the twist yet, but they're talking about it and it's like, what makes it holy water? Isn't it the same thing as water?
Yeah, it's just kind of like it has the same, because the ability to change like the molecules and something. But then later it's just like, is there anything actually molecularly different
from water and whole waters? Like the answer is actually no.
What's the duty there? Like, I don't know.
I think holy water is faith based. It's all faith.
Yeah,
it's all faith. So literally you have to like believe in it. You can straight believe.
Yeah, I think, and also too, like this is very Mark Millar. A lot of the writing is just taking jabs at things.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's a lot of jabs. Particularly, especially when you show David Lewinsky. Oh my god, I take so many jabs. There's so many fucking jabs he takes.
Yeah, the bad guy comics. He's just like adjacent to the bad guy comics.
Well, as we all know, Stevens that brand of comics is very more.
Yeah.
But Mark Millar has always kind of been the edgelord of modern.
Oh yeah. He always is.
And that can work really well for a lot of things. I think if I had any critiques about the writing in this story, I think he's at his best when he's just sticking into the world that he's created. I think he's at his worst. I think he's at his worst when he's doing social commentary on what's happening in our world. Like I don't think adding lines about Joe Biden doing this and
right. I noticed it.
I don't think it adds anything.
Yeah, it doesn't really add anything. No
way. I think it's just a spark controversy.
Like if I was him, I wouldn't even say the president's name. I would say the president. That's all I would have said.
Exactly. And I mean, even his stuff that he's adapted or not adapted in film, TV, they're better for kind of being ambiguous.
Yeah.
Like Kingsman in the movie, you see the back of the president's head, and you're like, it's probably Obama.
Mm-hmm.
You never just say it's Obama, and that's fine.
Yeah. You don't need to say it.
No. I'm going to jump in and I say, hard disagree. That was like one of my favorite lines of the whole dang book is on there. Like, Joe Biden asked us to be here on this battleship.
I mean, it was so funny. Don't get me wrong. It was so fucking funny. I still laugh.
Funniest lines in the whole thing.
It is fucking funny. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of funny, though.
I don't necessarily have anything against it. And that's not even the worst one, in my opinion. Like, the one that I didn't really like is, again, it's just like, you don't really have a foot in this world, so why are you even kind of doing this? Because there's this other group of superheroes called the ambassadors.
Yeah, the ambassadors. Yeah.
One person is picked from each country, and they represent that country.
Mm-hmm.
They all come together and make their own Justice League. Well, they're getting ready to go do a mission because one of their guys has been kidnapped. Yeah, Pakistan. And so I think Korea is the one who leads it.
Yeah, Korea leads.
Leader.
And
Sheen,
she just has a really goddamn. I can barely pronounce her name.
I think it's Sheen.
you gave it the old college try. I appreciate that.
There you go. We'll say that's correct. Why not? We'll say it's correct.
Might be Joe.
If anything, your heart's in the right place, and that's what matters.
Exactly. We tried. We gave it a try.
Exactly. And it's just like there's a line where I think the superhero Australia comes in and it's like, why are you sleeping with my secretary? I thought you were gay or whatever.
Right.
No, I'm actually pansexual.
Sexual.
Hey, that's the thing that came up in the ambassador.
Ambassador, yeah. I mean, this is a joke about that too. It's like, wait, aren't you gay? Like, we know these chicks.
He was like making his claim to be the guy.
Yeah.
And like his whole like political career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was like anti-gay, homophobic. His son's running, and he's also preaching the same stuff. And he was like, "That's just what they told me to say to get elected."
Yeah.
It's like that wasn't actually me. I've been sleeping with dudes this whole time. and every dunny and every like.
Wow, they used Dunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the ambassadors book, he was like, "I actually just said that so they would pick me to be this ambassadors dude. I've been sleeping with women this whole time."
He's a guy whose entire career built around his identity, but his identity is a lie.
Basically, it's totally a certain Orange Man reference right there.
I think it was a 72-year-old dude that couldn't like move. And like he was like,
yeah, he couldn't move. That's the only thing.
Live forever.
Yeah.
He's there.
Which, by the way, I do like the ambassador's power set. That actually is kind of clever. I do like the way they did that.
Hell yeah.
I do like
about the thing. Yeah, how their powers are artificially based and uploaded.
It's literally uploaded.
Yeah, and it's literally seems to be anything like teleportation. Sound waves.
The only trick is one ambassador cannot have the same as this next ambassador. They can't have the same powers. The only thing it has to be like a different one.
And they only have 3 at the same time.
Yeah, 3 at the same time, something like that. You can't overdo it either. If you overdo it, it's going to overload or something fucky happens. So yeah.
Okay, so and that's good because that like again building a power set like that, you need to have those limitations. But don't do anything, and that's not interesting. And I also like how that can be their own doing. I mean, big. Element, one of the issues in this is they get hacked, and so Nemesis steals their powers and murders them all. And I think like
they don't explain that at all.
They don't explain it. It just happens. It just happens. It just happens.
I'm glad they didn't explain it.
Yeah, and I mean,
and as far as the scene was, like, I did kind of laugh a little bit. I was like, that's so ridiculous, but at the same time, it's kind of funny.
and I think that's what Mark Millar's at best is when he's silly. I think that creating his own world, kind of creating his power system, and then also creating a way that can screw them over. He does over-the-top violence really well.
Yes, very over-the-top. Oh my god, so much.
Adds so much to the stories and the worlds that he's creating. It's just a critique. I just don't love when he brings real-world stuff into it, and I think it's mostly because with his writing style being so in your face, on the nose, I don't like that. If you're going to kind of do political commentary, social commentary, any of that stuff in your comics, I appreciate subtlety.
Me too. I'm more subtle area. Yeah, I agree.
But that's really, like, everything else about this I really, really enjoy. And I think any kind of fan, and I think any casual Mark Millar fan can enjoy it. I think anyone just who knows enough about kind of the tropes of comics and crossover that they've read the Crisis on Infinite Earths or whatever.
If you're really even comic your entire life, you know what's going on. You have an idea.
Yeah. Like he's got a great handle on that. He has a great handle on what people like about superhero comics.
And while we're on this, let's not forget the MVP of the whole damn comic. Let's just be honest about this one. Once again, motherfucking Hitgirl saves the day. Let's be honest. Let's just be totally honest about that. She's the MVP. She is
the best character he made, basically. And she scares the shit out of me. Like I read a lot of those are one of the ones I got to. I got the Kick-Ass and Hitgirl, and I read a lot of those. And she is just like in Kick-Ass 3, she's in a prison.
I remember that.
She's killed a bunch of people, and somehow she's running this prison from solitary confinement. And like he's talking to her like counselor, and he's like, "You're 13 years old. Why do you have a half pint of like Jack Daniels and like smoking cigarettes?" And then she's like, "I'm going to chop this guy's balls off because he's snorting too much cocaine and he's supposed to be working for me." And it's like, how she's like, I know she's a good guy, but like, how is she like? She bad, but so good at this.
I have a feeling she is totally Mark Millar's insert of what he wants women in cops to be. I still feel that's exactly what it is on purpose.
And we didn't really cover any of the big ass stuff, which is kind of talking about required reading. I think that's the other big story to kind of get most out of this. And I've read the first volume. I've seen 2 movies or whatever. So
right.
I had enough to kind of read.
Yeah, you got enough right there. That's enough. You don't need no much.
If you watch the first movie, you know the character of Kick-Ass.
Yeah, you definitely know him. Yeah, easily.
I was texting with Snoop earlier a couple of weeks ago or something like that. I just read Kick-Ass for the first time, and I was like, they literally frame for frame made the comic book into the first movie.
Yeah, they did.
There was literally nothing different that I could think of that they did, except Big Daddy didn't look like Nick Cage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's Big Daddy. He fit his name. Okay, Big Daddy fit his own name. He Big Daddy. He Big Daddy. Big. He be Big Daddy. Okay. No, what? He's Thick Daddy. He's Thick Daddy.
I think they could have put like I don't know who could have been there. Maybe
it'd be a wrestler. It'd be a wrestler, straight up.
The boy that did what's his name? The guy that did
Batista.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Batista. Yeah, Batista could probably do it.
He would have been a good Big Daddy, but he would have needed more hair and a beard.
They would have, if that was made, which I think they actually are remaking Kick-Ass now. I think about it, but he would be a good pick now. He wasn't in the zeitgeist back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I do really enjoy Nick Cage's portrayal back there.
Yeah, hey, he did good. I mean, dude, he did. Basically, just did it as a like bootleg Batman. That fits perfectly. That's fine. That's okay.
It's very much what if Nick Cage wanted to be Batman? It's very much that.
Yep, pretty much.
And it worked well. The Kick-Ass stuff again being probably the other most important story to read before you read this. That Wanted. I think that makes the most sense given the message of what this is all about, which is just that classic good versus evil. And if Wanted is, the worst of the worst people doing the worst things, Kick-Ass represents the other side of that coin. And I didn't know this until they mentioned it in the game. Kick-Ass is the first modern superhero after the memory wipe. I didn't know.
Yeah, he's the first one.
Well, that's the thing is, like, that's how they kind of tie him in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that they have all these comic books and superhero movies because people remember it, but they don't know why they remember it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He just reads the shit out of these comic books because he's
inspired.
Yeah, he's a nerd for the nerds, and so he's like, one day I just walk out on the street, and that's why it's like one of those.
It's a power fantasy. It is. It's all power fantasy. It's the ultimate
but for the right reason.
Yeah,
it has to be that guy for the rightest of right reasons.
I'm sure somebody out there who actually really thought themselves, look at a superhero costume and say, "Fuck it, I can do it."
Yes, and I mean that is the core of that original story, and I think also too kind of how I was able to tie these stories together. Having that superhero element of Wanted is the story that kicks all this off.
Yeah,
you find out there used to be superheroes in this world, and now
they ain't.
One, but you still because it's just a memory wipe. Probably one of the best messages of all of this stuff because it's just a memory wipe. People still have subconscious memories and inspirations from those old days, and that's why you get the creation of the fictional comics in this world like Jupiter's Legacy, which then inspires people like Kick-Ass in this real world again to start doing superhero stuff. And that is that classic tale of the villains kind of let that slide, and because of that, things built up.
Yep, and they got control.
Too late, and Kick-Ass again gets perfect moment, like full circle for all of his stuff.
Yes, I love that. By the way, best moment of the whole comic. It's one of my favorite moments of the whole comic.
Basically, and the setup for it is even works perfectly.
Yes, it does.
Are you talking about him getting the no? Because I feel like we need to do our drink break before we talk about the big final issue.
Fair enough.
Higgins, I'll let you do
because the first four
do a big hand gesture.
The first four issues are like a thing that we've been talking about, and then the fifth issue is like kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking drink break. Maybe talk about the reason we're all here together in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about like what it all got tied down to.
Yeah. I mean, just like the Millarworld stuff, you set the groundwork, get people characters that are on ball, and then we'll work this all together. Yeah. No, that sounds great. So we make a drink. We normally pick one. SoulStar here told us he's a big bourbon guy.
Yeah. I've been drinking on it the whole time.
He likes his bourbon. He said he has Jim Beam right now.
Yeah.
So I got us some Jim Beam, and you just have straight Jim Beam, I'm guessing. We went for I made us an old fashioned, which I don't know. Have we made one of those on the podcast before?
I kind of like mixed mine a little bit. That's all I did. No difference. It'll make difference. It's the same shit. Come on.
Yeah.
It's all the same stuff.
We made an old fashioned. We'll put a link to Jim Beam, I guess.
Shout out Jim Beam.
Oh, Jim Beam.
Yo, give me them brand deals, Jim Beam. Give me that brand deal.
we said it 3 times. Now we get money. It's like you said.
That's how it works. That's totally how it works. Yep.
But if we say it 3 more times,
so we get money.
Let's be careful about that.
Okay, fair. Jim Beam. No.
Yes, so we are drinking our Jim Beam we're drinking it in our commons alcohol glasses that we bought last year.
Okay.
Well, Christmas, birthday.
You being fancy now. Hold on, you being fancy. You being fancy. You being fancy.
A cherry in there.
His girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I heard earlier. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can talk about new men all the time.
Go on, show the cat.
Put him on the video.
You might as well, Sean. There you go. Aw, look at the guy. Aw, look at you. I want to pick you up. I want to pick you up.
But yeah, we're having some old fashions, Jim Beams all around. Good choice, by the way. So
some Blue Moons also.
Yeah, and also it kind of helps us get a little bit of those memories back from Port One, because we had some bourbon things in that. It's just nice to get the bourbon and bitters.
Honestly, you kind of need bourbon for that. You kind of need it anyway.
We had a bad time after that before initially.
I forgot we finished. That was how bad it was. SoulStar.
Jesus.
I woke up the next morning and I was like, "Did we finish recording that podcast?" And Snick was like, "We barely did."
We spent 2 hours talking about how cool Wesley's dad was in that opening scene. I stand by that. It was very cool.
It was very good.
But he was a badass, not gonna lie.
It was badass. And this is a badass drink. It's not much to it, is there? But it's just a classic.
A little bitter, a little bitter, a little bit of.
Yep.
A little bit of. You know who's more badass? I don't want to toot his horn too much, but Michael Lopez, owner and founder of 0-0-8 Studios. Who brought us together in the first place.
It's true, yeah.
I don't know how he found you, SoulStar Sketchin, but I'm glad he did.
I'm on Discord, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, do you have any other, does anyone have any other things they'd like to talk about drink-wise?
No, not drink-wise.
Okay.
I got like a whole bunch of drinks in my cabinet upstairs. I just picked one at random. Like, Jim Beam's okay. That's fine. We'll go with Jim Beam.
What feels right? You made the right choice.
It was good. It was sharp. It was it's the end all be all. It could be mixed with anything.
Oh yeah, easily.
Which works great for Avengers Endgame.
For Mark Millar's Endgame.
Right? I mean, at certain parts of the book, I'm gonna be honest, you have to turn your brain off a little bit. You kind of have to. Just be honest about that. Just don't lie. Be honest. You have to turn your brain off a little bit. Some plots.
Absolutely. I mean, this is very much like blockbuster popcorn.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's nice every now and again. It's like you don't again the reason it's a good event for me is because I was able to open it up, get something enjoyable out of it, and not need to know a ton. I could have gotten more out of it. Probably.
Honestly, I mean, real honestly, you could have just read straight up Wanted and Kick Ass. That's all I need to know. Yeah, straight up.
And that is a good event because they're 20 plus books. That's a tall order for them.
Yeah, that's tall. Like I said, no fucking way I'm reading. No fucking way. Come on, man.
And again,
I didn't read Superior though, but no, that's still no.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, after having read this, I am going to go back and read certain stories. Like I want to read Superior for sure. I want to read the Nemesis reboot. I think because he's kind of a big player on this. So
Yeah.
Clearly, someone they want to continue these stories with.
By the way, I forgot about Chrononize. I forgot all about that. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. I completely forgot.
Time travel.
Yeah, time travel, all child, yep, time travel, which is, by the way, plot heavy, by the way, near the end. Very plot heavy by the end.
What I like is, we've seen so much time travel stuff.
Yeah.
There's more to read. I think I've seen more time travel stuff in the last 10 years.
Again, Endgame. Once again.
You kind of have to add something to it to get me to care even a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way they did it with this is just kind of point out that time travel's dumb, isn't it? Because I think multiple times everyone's just like, we got to kill these guys. Like, well, what's going to keep them from time traveling back? Oh, they have to type in the date. Like, it's just like that dumb thing. I guess they do have to type in the date. I never really thought about that.
It's like, you got to type in the date, don't you? Oh, yeah.
It's a dumb thing, but again, you're adding your own twist on time travel. Make it something not new necessarily, but something kind of fun, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah,
pointing out from this.
I'm not spoiling this because it's pretty fucking funny in the moment. I laughed at this one. It's just kind of funny because it's a total joke on time travel tropes. It's like, what is it? When we see Hitgirl suddenly die, and then she immediately comes right back. It's like, wait, what happened? Like, oh, time travel. Oh, yeah, time travel.
And all of a sudden he's like, obviously she was with me 3 days later, so there's another one.
I love that.
I didn't even think about that. Because the one that we see get killed is the one that was with Eggsy.
Yeah.
And so, which is with a past version. And so now that she's dead, there's no like paradox or like.
Yeah, no paradoxes.
Yeah. So, and again, it's brought up in the context of the story. I don't remember who says it. It's like, yeah, how's she here? And then he says that. And he's like, oh yeah. And then they just move on.
They move on like, oh yeah, that's right. Anyway.
Do it this way, I think, because there's so much else happening in the story. Like, there's not just time travel, there's space travel, there's heroes from fantasy world that come to the real world. Like, you have all this stuff.
Oh, basically, well, actually, actually wasn't in the fantasy world. It's different reality altogether all this time. This entire time. That's a big reveal, yeah. So Jupiter's Legacy is just an adjacent parallel world. That's really it.
Yeah, and again, I think he was smart to kind of do it the way he did it.
Yeah.
Some of it, because if you just went, all this stuff is connected in the one world, it doesn't work the same way. So by taking the ones that kind of have those plot holes in them, like Jupiter's Legacy, for example, you just go, oh, it's in a sideways, like the alternate reality, but we'll bring them over for this. Everything is now tied in, everyone's all together, and it makes sense in the context of the world that it's built. I think that is clever.
Yeah, I like that.
Jumping into the fifth issue, you guys already kind of started a little bit.
We should put toes in there a little bit. It's time bit.
The first 4 issues, all the big bad are killing all the big good. And in the 5th issue, Hitgirl does time travel stuff, goes back 3 days before they start killing all the big good, and starts telling them that they're about to be killed. And you get to, like, that whole 5th issue is just, like, you going back through all of these, like, moments where all these superheroes got killed, and then like reversing the tide on the bad guys.
Yeah,
to
kind of get things back to where they need to be.
Exactly.
So all of those parts are so cool. There's like the one I specifically remember, like the Hucks running through the Antarctica with the polar bear, and they're like, "It'd be right here. We must have been like, we just must have to turn around 4 clicks south," and all of a sudden he's like beating him up.
Yep, strikes around town. I'm like, "What's up?" So
talking about like how they're gonna kill the vampire nightclub people.
Yeah, nightclub, yeah.
Full water, and then all of a sudden, like the vampires are killing the bad guys.
Yep, just got them.
It's like it's just like every single page is like them going back through those old like things and taking down the guys that took them down, and they still didn't explain the ambassadors part. So like, I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yeah, I don't think they really need to anyway. They don't really need to.
Yeah.
No, and it's smart the way he did it, even for himself. Just thinking that way of he killed a lot of characters, but he also brought them back to the end, and now he can just make more sequels to these books.
Exactly, that's the point.
Probably now know about I know about all these characters I didn't know about. There's probably going to be like a whole new list of sequels.
Especially because I think like a good 75% of these only have like a 5 to 6 issue run.
It seems that way, yeah. Like I think 7 Nemesis, both versions are only like 5 or 6. And I know, obviously, Mark Millar, his approach to his business is not just I'm writing comics, I'm writing properties that can be adapted to other things. You know, he's got Millarworld is owned by Netflix as far as the film and TV production stuff. They're not really doing that much with it, which isn't his fault, and I'm sure he's
that's really
a little weird about. But I think ultimately his plan of rebooting Nemesis and doing the game of doing all this stuff is he's trying to get his cinematic universe stuff on track.
I will say this. I'll say this personally on this Netflix thing. They should. I want them to stick more to between either a miniseries or a straight up anime, because when I see them in that form, it really does work very well. I like it.
Yeah,
I personally like it more.
I think stylistically, given the kind of craziness that happens in the stories, that's a good approach. I know I haven't seen Super Crooks, but I know people really enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the minority where I enjoyed what Jupiter's Legacy was doing.
I liked it. I actually like that one.
I did too, but one thing I will say about that show is it did not have the budget that it needed.
Yeah, no, it definitely didn't. Mm.
I think the only reason I enjoyed it as much as I did is because of the characters, also just casting.
Yeah.
Ashtamal's actually a good pick for the Utopian and everything, but I think you're right, because they canceled Jupiter's Legacy.
Unfortunately. Unfortunately.
Maybe, I think you're right. I think you bring it back, and do new things, you would animate it. Because the thing is, with this comic, everything that's happening, you would need so much money to even come close to doing this in live action. But if you do it animated, obviously you still need a lot of talent and a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to need as much money.
No, nowhere near as much. No.
And you know, the superhero bubble, like this kind of genre, it's not. I don't think it'll ever burst or go away. But it's definitely, the hype has been dying down. The return has not been what it's been.
Well, the problem is we're in an era of diminishing returns for that stuff.
Yeah.
Diminishing returns. Like okay, the most popular ones right now that people actually are watching is all streaming, which is The Boys and Invincible. Straight up. Yeah. That's the truth.
Which we'll talk about Invincible season 2 later. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, and I mean, The Boys has been doing really well, and I think in the case of that one, and why it works as well as it does is it's live action, but it's also, now it's two things. It's like the Gen V spinoff, but
yeah, Gen V's good too, by the way. Very good.
Yeah, but if you're going to do like Invincible level stuff, which is what a lot of the Mark Millar stuff is, the game is, you're talking time, space travel, like multiple different superhero teams, and all this that. Animation is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
To keep it consistent, and also to keep it tied in well. Like, again, I think they're apparently doing Kick-Ass again, and it might be a live action series, but if I were them, I would just build off the animation side.
Yeah, same. I want to see it animated.
Yeah. And also, like, we've seen Kick-Ass, and like, I like that first.
Yeah.
Whatever. Second one's good too.
Second one's not bad. It's just like,
the thing I think they did wrong with Kick-Ass 2 is that Kick-Ass 1 was the comic book.
Yeah.
And they nailed it. Kick-Ass 2, they had to work in Hitgirl and Kick-Ass 2 and try to come up with something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, they could do a thing, and it didn't follow the comics as well as it could have.
Yeah.
And also, like,
I think producers and stuff like that.
Yeah, they did.
The second one, they're like, this is big. People really like this first one. Let me do something that we think that these people might like more.
Right.
And that's the same thing that happened with like with video games, where they do like the games of service where we want to live forever, and they screwed it up because they wanted more money.
Yeah.
You're only chasing the dollar, and so you don't really get any kind of quality control or thought put into it. So, I mean, the reason like these franchises that we have now, like Marvel and DC and all this, the reason they make the big money that they have been making is because they get an original, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or like put money into it, we put talent into it, we cared about the stories first and foremost, and the popularity built because of that wall. And now, I know, you know, their business at the end of the day, they want to make their dollar and make as much of it as they can, but I think if they want the universe stuff to work, which is what they want that long-term investment to pay off. We're doing all these properties, they're all connected, you'll love it. I think in the case of this Millarworld stuff, animation is your best bet to kind of get that longevity. One, because casting-wise, it's a lot easier to do a Hitgirl, you know, series or Kick-Ass series with Hitgirl in it for multiple years if you can keep her the age that she needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas that's the problem with Kick-Ass 2, even is
she got older. It's obvious. Yep.
Not 13 years old anymore.
Yeah.
Oh hell no, nowhere near. No.
And so do it animation-wise, though, that takes a lot of that, the equation. And again, you start out with something ground level, like even Wanted at its core is more ground level than any of this other stuff. And Kick-Ass is obviously very grounded in the beginning, but the goal is going to be to build to your Hucks, your superiors. If you want to do that and transition all these characters together and do it well, animation is the way that you approach it, because otherwise you're going to blow up that budget for live action to get it to remotely look right.
And the CGI.
Yeah. Not to mention, but you also have to be like also there's a big one for a lot of comic fans. You have to be as loyal as you can to the source material. That's the big one. You have to be loyal to it. You gotta commit.
Yes, it is. And even stylistically, I think some of the panels in this, the way that they work so well is because it's got that look, its own personality, its own look. Like I think of it, Superior being killed, beautiful imagery there, but also just good feeling imagery from the moment of where Kick-Ass gets superpowers and he's flying off at the end of the day.
That's my favorite panel, whole book, by the way. That's my favorite panel, straight up.
And I think that means something where, you've obviously read a lot of this stuff. Kick-Ass is a big thing that you kind of kept up with. I've only read the first volume, though, and I got the same kind of feeling of good for that guy.
Yeah.
He gets his ass kicked so many times. His name's Kick-Ass, and he gets the opposite of his name so many times in all of his books.
So much.
I don't think he's like, as far as ass kick to kick ass, he's definitely like 25 to 75%. And so it's nice to see that he can finally kick ass like he says he does. The only shitty part is now he has to be called America.
Yeah, but oh well. That's the only downfall. But okay, you know what? Hey, he finally made it. He made it. Finally, finally made it.
I wish they could have let him keep his like sticks and his uniform.
You know what? I like it. They made it like I'm about to say keep the uniform. But you just change like to a American color. That'd been it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm alright with that. I mean, come on, that's just kind of iconic now. I was like, it is kind of iconic. Come on, give him something.
He at least has the open mask.
Yeah, I got that at least.
Yeah. And again, it's that moment itself of just like he did this. He was the first one to do this, even though he didn't have it easy. He didn't have powers, and he wasn't good at what he was doing, but he was going out there and doing it. He kicked all this off, and now he's literally the guy representing his country.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm giving some credit too. Even though he got his ass kicked, as we said many times, he did win his fights. He did win.
He won his fights, but it was after he got like.
Yeah, I know.
3 metal plates put in his head so he couldn't feel the increase.
Exactly.
I think the only thing I would have kind of liked differently, and I still like kind of how all this turned out, but I think maybe the one thing it was missing for me was if Kick-Ass is like the ideal representation of a superhero, and you have Wesley, who's the villain, he's the other side of the coin, they didn't get any kind of interaction or fight.
Yeah, that bugged me too a little bit. I was like, really? You're not going to have them, dish it out a little bit?
I think they got, I don't know, it's one of those things where I think, like, it wasn't Wesley that got the interaction with Wesley. Or, no, I said Wesley and Wesley. It wasn't Dave that got the interaction with Wesley. It was Hitgirl that got the interaction. And Hitgirl has always been the mind behind Kick-Ass.
Yeah, she is.
And she got the interaction with Wesley. Like, the entire comic for the 5-issue run, he's like, yeah, we're killing all these superheroes, but how are we going to kill this one girl that, like, for whatever reason is, like, very good at what she does?
She's the only one that he recognizes as like a position.
And right. I think that's where you get, like, the human versus superhuman Wesley Gibson type of thing.
Yeah,
because he specifically says that he's like, yeah, we've killed all of these people, but I'm kind of worried about Hitgirl. She disappeared.
Yeah. It's like it's the only kind of thing that is remotely worrying this guy.
Yeah, he's like, we got all of these other guys. I'm not worried about that, but like, I thought we shot her, and now she's not there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I liked the way that they did go with it, where it is kind of more about that confrontation of Hitgirl and Wesley, because the character of Hitgirl is a great character, always has been in Kick-Ass stuff, and it's they don't really miss a beat with any of her stuff in this. Again, I feel like with the message being this core thing of good versus evil, who's going to triumph, you have obviously Wesley is the main representation of the bad guy, and then you have Dave, who is a good guy. For them to not even have like any kind of interaction or anything, that's the only thing that, while you don't necessarily need it, I feel like you do miss something by not having. But I guess also too, the more important moment for Mark Millar was giving him his due, which is he
probably gets bigger.
Yeah. So in that it's still really good, and I'm not disappointed with that by any means. The only thing I think we haven't really gone over and I want to ask you guys about is how do you feel about this is maybe also part of DC?
No.
Well, so
DC inspired, but not quite.
here's the thing. So again, it's implied, and he can't legally make it DC. But
Right.
there's a character in this, and this again, me coming into this, I would read this, and then if something stood out to me or I had questions, I'd kind of do some research from there.
Okay.
Well, there's a character called Bob Griffith in this, who
Mm-hmm.
one person who didn't lose her memory back in 1986.
You're
I
right.
have no idea who that is.
I have no idea who it is at all. I have no idea.
So I looked it up, and apparently this is supposed to be stand-in for the character of Barbara Gordon.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Because in the stories that she's in,
Mm-hmm.
this is that she worked for a character called the Detective,
Oh, I see where you're going with this. Okay.
and the reason that she didn't lose her memory is because when the device that wiped everyone's memory went out, she was in in the detective's cave.
Well, yeah, you see the Bat Cave and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I know what you're talking about. And I think it's the same thing as, like, something else that me and you both really like. Shoot, I can't remember the name of it. Jeff Lemire's superhero universe that also just, like, rips off, like, a bunch of superheroes.
Black Hammer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah. Okay. I have read some of that.
The thing, like, where he, like, it was the same thing I said, like, with Superior, where that's very obviously Shazam
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
turns into a superhero.
Yeah.
By dealing, he throws his own twist on it, but
Yes. Yeah. It's very much that. I think, again, like, legally it has to be that, but everything I looked at, even interviews with Mark Millar, it's very heavily implied that character is supposed to be Barbara Gordon. And there's also moments in this that kind of, again, he's able to get away with that, feed that idea. So they go back in time, her and the Chrononauts and then some rich dude
Right.
go back in time to show proof of, hey, this is a thing that happened. And so they go to the year 1985, which is the last year before the superhero.
Right.
Well, then there's like a robot. Well, so there's a robot, and the robot gets taken down by a superhero. But that character that you see does not have the same design or character or like colors as Superior. He's wearing blue and has a red cape as an emblem. So, and also the building that they're standing in front of is the Daily.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. Yep. You're right.
It's legally, we cannot say that this is in the DC comics.
So I'm looking at it right now. You're right. Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I see it.
oh, it's 100% the Daily Planet. And then they talk about it. He dressed like a normal person and like tends to be that. But
they show the phone booth where it's like, this is where he gets changed or whatever. Yeah, and I find that very fascinating because it has this whole other element, and also I think he's doing it on purpose on the chance that DC maybe goes, hey, do you want to
mix them together?
Do you want to cross these over? I think Mark Millar, while a good writer, is an even better businessman. I think that his whole angle and what he has done with his career is create properties to then make
turn
them
into stuff,
to turn them into other things, and also sell them to other people to use. Because and it would make so much sense that that's why he's doing what he's doing, considering the kind of potential crossover elements he could then do with DC. I mean, Nemesis versus Batman, that would sell something.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care. Like 100% people would buy that. And
just have Batman on it. So, yeah, dude.
And that is why in those interviews, it's like, hey, what's the deal with Nemesis? And he's like, oh, well, what if basically Joker was the Batman? Like, there's intention behind every single one of these pitches and these answers you're giving. It's I don't know. I find that adding that element of, there's this universe that had superheroes, and then they also made their own fictional superheroes, but also there's DC Comics in this. Well, if you take that same idea of, if there's DC Comics in this world, and people are making comics of characters that they subconsciously remember,
maybe they could be there.
Yeah, I just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it would ever happen.
I see what you're saying. He's leaving himself a door open.
It's the same thing he did with this story. I mean, connecting all this stuff, he leaves the doors open just enough where it's like, yeah, we can, it's fine.
Also, just tell you real quick, because I'm looking over the panel you're talking about, which is issue number 2, I believe, 9 and 10. And I know it's like when Super comes in, it's supposed to be like a Superman insert. I totally see that now. I just realized on page number 10 here, I'm looking at like, wait a minute, it looks familiar. That's from Man of Steel. That's that J.K. Umbrella they had with Zod and his people. Like, oh, I remember that. Yeah, that's from Man of Steel. Oh my god.
It's fun. It's fun and it's silly and it's wild and also it's like it will lead to something, you know? Because again, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters to all these people is money. So, and one thing I will, like, one credit I'll give to all of that is I don't hate it. He's done it in a way that's like, it just seems interesting. Where it's like, oh, maybe this is all together somehow eventually.
I don't know if it's just the the Marvel like slump that I'm like feeling.
Yeah, I feel the slump. Trust me, I feel it.
I love everything that we read out of Image. It just feels refreshing, even if it is superhero.
Yeah,
I think he's kind of like buying off of that, basically.
Well, I think it's just going the way that the original, like the movies and TV shows and trajectory it's on. It's all following the same trend that comics did when they did it first. I mean, multiverse stuff is where we're at now. People are already kind of getting sick of it.
Yeah, we get sick of it big time.
And that's what happened with comics. I mean, they mentioned Crisis on Infinite. They mentioned Crisis on Infinite Earths in this. Mm-hmm. The reason that comic even exists is because in DC at the time, there were so many multiverses, and people were getting so sick of keeping up with all this. And this Superman does that, but also read this one. They were sick of it, and numbers started to drop. So then they created this event, which killed everything and reset the status quo to then hopefully drop numbers back up. The movie
that one made DC Rebirth.
That was just another instance of that. Yes, DC does a reboot. Like they'll do it every 10 years, and then every 5 years.
Yeah, they do all the time.
Usually we'll get one like once a week. It's just
they did a podcast about the Rebirth comics.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah. We used to do a weekly podcast, which we just couldn't keep up.
It's awesome. Couldn't do it now.
No. We're all too old, man. We're all too old.
Too many beard hairs. Yeah, keep up with all that.
I got my grays. Trust me, I feel my grays already.
I got this one right here.
There's that one though, right?
What do you think I'm shaving for, man? I have them grays. Oh hell no! I get rid of that shit. Like, nah, fuck that. Nah.
You gotta embrace it.
It's like, I'm like a little gray. It was like, okay, that's too much now. Hold on.
you want it to the point where you look distinguished, but not old. That's a tough balance.
Yes, it is.
This comic was a tough balance, but I think overall he struck it really well. I think
he did a good job.
I didn't know how it was gonna go. I mean, all I knew is what you told me about it when you picked it. I'd read some of, I read Wanted, I read Jupiter's Legacy, I read Big Ass Stuff. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Even the concept of all of those things coming together seemed like, I don't know if this will work, or I don't know if I'll enjoy this, but I had a fun time with this.
Good.
I think it has, like, things I don't love about the book. Again, certain dialogue and writing, but considering all the elements to juggle, all the characters to give a moment to, I think he did a really good job here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say some words right now. I hope you guys enjoy them.
Go ahead.
Well, if we don't,
I'm going to ask you guys to give me your favorite scene. I know we already talked about it a little bit, but just throw me your favorite panel.
Can you kick us off so you kind of set
my favorite panel?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
My favorite panel was when Kick-Ass or Hitgirl goes back in time and that lady cuts that dinosaur's head off.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
That was my favorite panel of the whole thing because I have no idea who those people are.
But you just know, like, fun.
I think I actually have
but there's also like crazy stuff. Yeah.
I think it's like, oh my god, because so much shit. Go back.
And then I'm just gonna throw us into the reviews after that because I think we fought this thing to death.
Yeah, no. I know my favorite panel.
Oh, go ahead.
Like, art-wise, my favorite panel is where Superior gets killed in a Flowers wheelchair.
Yeah. It is a cool panel, though. It's pretty badass.
That being said, I think just the one I had a big smile on my face is, and we talked about it a little already, is after they go back in time and it's the drop on jets that
Oh yeah.
He rips off the
Yeah.
rips off the one of them, and in the next page, it's just a panel of Huck saying that's not very nice, and also the polar bear.
Yeah, little bull bear, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like give him the finger or just give but just the polar bear looking at him right before they get messed up. That's so much about that character, and I want to read that story just for those little moments with him and the polar bear.
It's actually really good. I don't know why I read it way back in the day, but
Yeah,
I remember I read I read the whole thing. I read a little bit. I like what I saw though. I keep saying it. It's wholesome as hell. It really is super wholesome.
yeah, it really is. So I think that would definitely be my takeaway from this whole thing. That's my go-to. I love that little polar bear backpack. What about you, Soul? What are you thinking?
Hands down, like I said before, like there's a lot of good scenes in this, by the way. A whole lot of good scenes, especially the final issue. Oh my god, so much good action on that one. But my favorite scene is, I don't know, it makes me happy. It's two of them basically combined together. It's the scene where I mentioned before, Dave Lewinsky, without the mask, is kick-ass talking to one from the Magic Order, and she actually empowers him, like, okay, Dave, you earned this. He's like, oh shit! And he was flying like a fool. He got the biggest smile on his face. I'm like, my man. Yes, a full-out Superman pose. I love it.
like pissed out.
Yeah, all pissed out. I'm like, you living the dream, motherfucker. You living the dream.
Yeah, it's probably the most earned moment.
Oh hell yeah, it's very earned.
Yes. This is a good. If you like this stuff, if you like superhero comics, you like kind of the messages it brings, the feelings you get when you read them, this is really good version of all of that. It has its tropes, but it delivers them in a way that you're like, oh yeah, this is why I got into this stuff.
That's why I like comic books.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All really good.
That being said, we're gonna throw it to I don't know how much of you've listened to us or not, Soul, but we like to do a rating.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be numbers. It's just a random thing. I'll give you an example of like what we do. I really have to think about it. So Snoop will edit this out. He always does. So I'm expecting him to do it now.
All right.
Just between me and Solomon. That's just between me.
What I think is that I like to do 42 big games. And obviously that means 9.5 stars out of an amount of stars.
How many times did you have to Taylor Swift during these big games?
20.
Oh my god. I didn't watch the game, but I saw some glow clips. Like, god damn, guys.
You gotta make that Super Bowl money somehow.
Oh yeah, 43 big games. That's a pretty good. One of the best scores I've ever given, actually. I've never given a 10 star, but we also haven't had Sandman on the podcast yet. So.
All right, well, that's a good review. I guess I'll step in to the other co-host and give my rating. Talk about all the reasons I like it. Talk about some things I don't, but that did not take away from my enjoyment at all. So I am going to download 3 powers and give one of them to each of you.
Oh wow.
Okay.
That roughly equates 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
If you want to trick a shot, but yeah, had a really good time.
All right.
What are you ratings?
I was thinking close to what you were thinking, which is about close to 8.5, but I'm going to bump it up slightly only because, again, the ending of it, I really fucking like. That helped a whole lot. I'm going to give it, I was going to get 8.5 first. I'm going to bump it up to a 9. At least a 9.
Good.
The reason I wouldn't give a full 10 is because, again, it's the backlog you got to go through. Oh my god. Fuck that. I'm sorry. Fuck that. No. I'm not doing all that. No.
They have a picture of the Millarworld reading order.
Yeah, I saw that.
It is the most overwhelming thing in this comic.
Yes.
Like, I saw like 70 superheroes and supervillains on one page at one point, but even that was a lot easier to take in for this. So yeah, no, that is. But yes, I would agree with that 9. Maybe gave it 9 pieces. Mark Millar is good at what he does.
Yes.
He's good at and this is no exception to that at all. Good stuff all around.
Now I mentioned him earlier, but I'm gonna go ahead and do our little obligation, I guess you could call it. Talk about our boy Michael Lopez and his business.
So you and I will record that separately.
Oh, we're doing that separately?
Yes.
So we're doing it without.
I'm gonna record that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna record that separately and we'll put it at the beginning of the episode.
Oh,
and then from there I'll edit in where we start with this.
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah. So but like I said, that's just I'll make a cut point at some point here. And also, before just to make sure, because we are 312, so if you have to go, do they understand?
We have to go pretty soon, yeah, I do.
Yeah. So we normally do in a segment where we just talk about other stuff we've been looking at. You don't want to do that.
I can talk about it real quick. This is about 50 minutes of it. I can see that.
Reading for squares. I saw the look in your eyes earlier when we were talking about Invincible Season 2. If you want to talk about that real quick, that's what I've been watching recently. I'm only like 3 episodes in, but I'm loving it.
I think it's good because there's only like 3 or 4 episodes to watch in season 2. You're on.
Yeah, then it's like, I think it's going to be probably like, I think it's going to be like 8 or 10 episodes for the whole entire season, something like that. It's something like that.
Yeah, it's about to come back, I think, in early March.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that it's 4 out of season 2 right now.
Well, basically, season 2, because I actually did read the Invincible comic, all of it, before even the announced show. I already knew about Invincible, I already knew.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Invincible fan. But I won't spoil. No spoilers here, guys. I won't say anything for that. But I'll keep it really light, super light. I'll keep it super light for you.
3 episodes in.
I'm always saying with the commercial show because I'm just giving you some context. So what I saw in the trailer was the covering the little arc that Mark had, where he was supposed to be off planet for only like maybe a couple of weeks, and it turned into I won't say how long, but definitely some months. Okay, it's supposed to be 2 weeks. Nah, bro, nah. He waiting. He gonna be on that planet for a little bit.
I am caught up to where they stopped for the mid-season break, so I know kind of the context behind why he's probably going to be there. But even like going, as far as starting that storyline.
Well, even the Adam Eve, like mid 1 season 2, kind of like her like intro thing.
Yeah, special. That's like a special. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's we can talk about is big book, worlds and universes, and this is the same thing. It's just if you know enough about superheroes, like you read your Superman, you've done your basic homework of your Batman, whatever. This is just taking those similar elements and making it your own thing. This is written by Robert Kirkman, who people know wrote The Walking Dead, and is now basically just turning everything he makes into a TV show. And this is his other big property, and I love Invincible.
This was really good. It's very good.
And what I like about it is the appeal it has to people who don't read comics. I got time to check it out. I was like, just watch the first episode. I gave him a basic premise, but I was like, just watch the first episode, and by the end, you'll know if you want to keep going with it. And he's already on season 2, and he's
like not even just like comic books in general, but like animation. I feel like it like brings people in that don't like to watch cartoons. Cartoons. Doing air quotes. Most people, if they see an animation,
we can actually see that now.
Yeah, you can. You see it. I'll do it a couple more times.
Normally we just hear it, but yeah.
Most people I like talk to, they're like, "Oh, it's a cartoon. I'm not gonna watch that. I'm not a child. This is don't show show me your children."
No, probably not.
Hell, if you tell me to show the kids, I'll be like, no, unless they're like a teen, ain't no goddamn way to show this no kid. Ain't no goddamn way.
Yes, and I think very much that is the intention behind that first episode. The way it is fun.
Yeah,
I don't spoil anything, but just watch the first episode, and you'll get a sense of why people are really on board with this one. And also, like, just the talent behind it is really, really great. I think you can Steven Yeun, who he's Glenn on The Walking Dead. Now he voices
Mark.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have J.K. Simmons, who plays his dad. Who is Omni-Man.
Omni-Man, yeah.
Looking real good. And like even the side characters were really good in this. I don't remember her name in the show, but the one who plays Mark's mom. And
oh, her. Yeah. I know you mean. Yeah.
Oh, is the one.
Yeah. I think it's something like that. It's something like that.
Grey's Anatomy.
Killing Eve.
Yeah, there you go. Killing Eve lady. There you go. The Killing Eve lady. There you go. Yeah. I wish I did watch some Killing Eve, but I will say this because it did several changes in the show. Especially, number one is Mark's ethnicity officially because he's straight up white in the comic. Straight up white. They changed that entirely. I don't mind that. It works. It works very well.
Yeah, I think they did a really good because I do that with a lot of characters. I think basically a character who says EJ in this.
Oh, Amber?
Yeah.
Oh, no, Amber. Oh, you mean Adam Eve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Amber, the character of Amber's girlfriend, she's the original comic.
Yeah, she's white as hell. She's white and blonde. White and blonde.
Yes, the character of
So they made her black.
Yeah, Mirror Black. Totally different character. She's basically a different character altogether. Straight up.
well, and essentially all they did. Because I mean, I know this for the case of the character of Explode. They gave them the ethnicity of the actor playing it.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised. I was a little surprised by that one. I was like, really? Okay.
But when I picked up on that, is Jason, is his name? Dukas?
Yeah.
Dukas. He plays the character of Explode in the same thing. Just like, yeah, that's what he would. If he was this guy in live action, that's what he would be. And
Right.
it's such a little thing. I don't think he's Australian in the show.
I know he's in Big Mouth. I know he's a Big Mouth.
Yes, it is.
It's a big mouth in the league.
But yeah, it's such an obvious change that you would make, and it only upsets a very minor group of people. But those people don't matter.
Those people don't matter. My mind.
That's my answer to that.
And it's not important at all. All that matters is the character that doing the things that they should be doing in the context of the story. None of that other stuff matters. And
plus in the comic, Explode acts exactly like that. He is an asshole. Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah, you got it right.
The core of the character is the same. And even then, like, that stuff can change for the better too. Like,
yeah, that can change. That's fine.
Well, this character maybe doesn't work as well as, like, either works better if we change it, or it doesn't work well for the kind of modern context. Now, let's tweak some things. But this show, as far as, I mean, I don't know. You read the comic.
Yeah.
I know The Walking Dead with the show, it deviates pretty hard.
Yeah, it does. It really does. I read the comic version too, by the way. Yeah, it deviates pretty hard.
Is Invincible very similar? Like, is it taking hard?
Well, the biggest one is how long it takes for Omni-Man to reveal himself as a bad guy. Well, not really a bad guy, but you know what I mean. He's a conqueror, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and not even
because
go ahead.
I said because in the comic version of that, it happens a lot sooner than you think. Like this happened not in the first issue, but like probably like in the next like 5 to 10 issues, something like that. That's when but
the audience doesn't know.
Right.
Or like characters don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I know that,
and that's one of those things where it doesn't work good on TV if you tell me that beforehand.
That's the thing, is like that reveal, and obviously we're spoiled this too, but that reveal of
it's the first season of it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's first season. Fuck it. Go on, say it.
Statute of limitations passed. Yeah. But that reveal of him being, he's from another planet and on Earth and all this and that, like, and he kills their version of Justice League.
Yep.
That
hard.
Really wasn't going to happen in the comic as soon as it did either. Apparently, that was an editor's note from to Robert Kirkman. That was always the plan, but he was going to stretch that out for like 20 or 30 issues.
Right.
Numbers for the comic weren't doing well early on. I think they're doing okay, but he was just like, hey, we need to kind of, if you want this to continue, we need to bump this reveal up. And it is a good call to do that as early as possible, because I think the way that any of this stuff works, where you have, this is just a different version of a DC world or a Marvel thing. If you're going to do, like, we have a Superman character, we have a Green Lantern character, you're going to do all that, you've got to throw something in.
Yeah, you gotta make a twist of some sort. Make some sort of twist.
Yeah, and even the concept of the evil Superman character, that's kind of, that has
that's been,
recently. But as long as it's a good version of that, I think him with this one, the way they kind of make it work for them and make it interesting is it's the main character, it's his dad is the evil Superman character. You have that element.
Yeah.
I'm going to punch my dad, but also he's going to feed the shit out of him.
Oh, plus it gets more complicated too, because you can see Nolan, that's his name, Omni-Man, Nolan. You can see, like, during it, you can see he's conflicted. He wants to do what he was supposed to do, but he actually really does fucking love his son. He loves him.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. And I like what they've kind of done carrying it into this new season. He does, like, we knew that kind of from the last season. He cares about the kid, that's why he kind of through and dips out. But he's not a good guy. No,
he's not. He's not a good guy.
And that's so interesting because, like, one, you have the character of Mark who's struggling with, like, this was my dad who raised me, and I do love him because he's my father, but I'm struggling with the fact he's done what he's done. And also, he almost killed me, so I'm a little angry about that. But they're trying to show this character, the character of Nolan, in a way where it's like, oh, maybe he does kind of have redemption arc in him, though. Because he might not care that much about himself or other people, but he at least cares about his son. I think that I think that's just doing something for me. To kind of continue that.
Good. I'm glad
go ahead.
I'm glad the show got that through to people because I was hoping I wasn't for sure what direction they're going to go with this version of it. I was like, okay, I don't know what to do with this because this is a little bit different than what I was used to in the comic, but I mean, it's still about the same stuff. So bravo, you know what I mean? Dude, they got Battle Beast in the fucking in the show, who shows up much later in the comic, by the way. But oh my god, they got him perfectly. That was perfect. They nailed that right.
Yes, and what I also like about this version of again, not doing the DC parallels, Marvel parallels. I've read a lot of the stuff. Even if I haven't read all the stories, I've at least read up on a lot of the characters.
Yeah.
So they don't hold back at all. Where it's like, oh, Battle Beast is just this version of Dark Side character. You know that. Actually,
he's closer to Lobo. He's closer to Lobo. He's more close to Lobo. Yeah.
I could do that. Yeah, and I like how it's even though Mark is really powerful superhero, kind of got Superman powers. He's a noob.
Yeah.
Also, even if he was as good as his dad, there are characters out there who are very, very dangerous.
Well, the show is actually the reason why Mark doesn't seem to be as strong as dad, which is a very simple reason. He's not as old. That's true. Because if you actually look at some of the what they call Viltrumites, if you notice, the really strong ones are old.
Yes. Yeah.
If you notice that, they're all old. Every single one of them. Yep. They're all either graying up of some sort, or they have some kind of streaks in the hair. But yeah, every single one of them. So what they're trying to tell us is, Viltrumites, they live a long fucking time. Okay, they say in the show as well. They live a real long time. And the trick with them is when they start off, they're gonna be they're pretty strong, yeah, but not like Superman level. You know what I mean? Not quite, not there yet. When you get to level, when you get to think of their age is a level. So Marcus level probably 18, 19, something like that. That's his level. Think that way. So Nolan has to be 50, right?
Yeah.
Nolan's been probably 50 years old, so he's level 50. Get it? There you go. That's why he's so goddamn strong.
Yeah. Okay. Mark's trying to.
Yeah. There you go. Exactly right. Yep.
More that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's strong. Yeah. If you talk about basic shit, sure. Anything stronger, oh boy, you better be fucking smart, kid.
And there's stakes to all of that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stakes. Oh my god. Oh Jesus, so much stakes.
Yeah. And again, I think the reason this is working so well is because it's animated. Considering what crazy stuff happens in that comic and how they're kind of trying to stick to that as much as they can, it seems.
Yeah.
There's a lot of violence. There's a lot of gore. It's definitely not a show for kids.
Because honestly, I'll tell people who are not used to because I know for a fact folks, a lot of people didn't read the comic. Some folks read the comic like me, some folks didn't. This is no spoiler at all. I can say this right now. It starts off in the superhero series, and then becomes an epic. So get ready for that.
Yeah, I've read a little bit about some of the stuff they go into, and it sounds wild. But they're similar to the Miller stuff we talked about. It's going through everything. It's going through your different dimensions, your multiverse.
Oh yeah, all that shit. Yes.
All time travel, space travel, and I really like all that stuff. I like that they're able to kind of really flesh out on something outside of just one planet. And of course you would, because it's there's superpowers. Yeah, why stay on Earth? Let's go somewhere else.
Just go somewhere else.
It'll be fine. So I really like the angle that they've gone this new season, and I am glad that it's with Amazon because the canceled is just because they don't want to do it. But also Amazon has so much money that they're not as worried about they don't seem like Netflix where it's oh this didn't do X amount of numbers to cancel it. They seem like they'll just make anything forever if they
really want to. Yeah, they could.
And that's honestly the opposite. I saw this thing about Netflix where they cancel shows because they're too popular and they're taking away views from the other shows.
Oh, that's dumb. I hate that.
It's also
that's dumb.
Diminishing returns. Kind of mindset of we got because how they make their money is people sign up. Well, you've gotten all the subscribers you can off of the first 2 seasons of the show, mostly. It's very rare for someone to come in and subscribe specifically to season 3 or 4 of a thing.
Right.
So they're why put money in this that's not going to get us more customers? So that's why they're always just doing, 1 to 2 seasons, cancel. Also, the shitty thing that they do is after how all these rules and unions and whatever contracts work, after about 3 seasons, those actors are usually more popular and in more demand. So you have to pay them more. So you just cancel the show.
So cancel show. Yeah.
So,
straight up.
Amazon doesn't really seem to at least for now, they don't, because this is just like a side biz for them, honestly. They could shut down their entire film division and be perfectly fine. But because of that, they have this subscription mentality of like, I will just start a movie division and then like someone will run it. We don't really know. We don't pay attention to it at all. It'll just keep going forever. Like, $1 billion into Lord of the Rings for no reason.
Oh God, don't remind me. Oh Jesus, that was a nightmare for me. That was a nightmare. I couldn't sit through that. I couldn't sit through it. I couldn't do it. I said through two. I'll tell you right now. I said about 2 to 3 episodes of that. When I saw the Ninja Black Elf, I was out. You know what I'm talking about? Once I said that. As soon as I saw Ninja Black Elf, I'm like, okay, I'm out. I gotta go. I gotta go now.
That's funny. He said if they want to just keep putting $1 billion into this, it's not my money, so yeah, do it. That's funny though. I think it's cool. It sounds like Robert Kirk did, because I think they just renewed it for seasons 4 and 5 already.
Thank God. Good.
The way they've done Invincible is they've renewed it 2 seasons after 5.
Mm-hmm.
They already had 3.
Yeah, so season 1 came out, and then they're like, okay,
2 and 3.
2 and 3 will do for sure. And then I think halfway through season 2 now, they're like, and we'll do 4 and 5. So
good.
I knew that the comics long, but I don't imagine they'll need more than like 7 to 8 seasons max to kind of do everything.
Well, the comic is not super long. It's actually like 100 something issues, and that's it. It's not super long.
Perfect. I love that.
So,
it's about 100 something issues. That's it. I think it's like 120, 30. I gotta look it up later, but yeah, it's not that long. It really isn't.
No, it's perfect.
I'm gonna take a stab and say it's 144 issues.
It's probably close. It sounds about right.
If I get that right, y'all are me.
It's Snickers.
Alright.
Or Jim Beam.
If I get it wrong, then each of class.
Hell yeah. I'm okay with that.
Alright. Well, good. Like, I'm glad we're all watching that. We're all liking it. Digging your own stuff. Keep doing that. Don't do what you normally do and stop watching it.
Yeah, I'll watch something. Yeah, I guess.
You already give up on Breaking Bad?
I haven't watched in a while.
Higgins has...
I've watched the first 3 seasons of Breaking Bad 3 times now.
Yep. I
never finished the show, though.
You never finished it? What the hell? Just finish it.
Well, I followed up with multiple times and go, why don't you just start at season 4 since you've seen the first 3?
I mean, my dude, I watched this show since the beginning. I finished that shit. Right spot. I don't care.
It's I'm really bad at taking in media.
That is the one I would say very, very, very dude. You can. Oh my God, you can just watch shit out of that easily.
He's frustrated with you. He doesn't know.
I know. It's like, what do I say?
There's nothing you can do. It's not on you. It's on him.
I know, but still, like my dude, it's not that hard.
But cool. All right. Well, there's nothing.
We'll do our things. I don't know if you've listened to us, but we normally do a little bit of a sign off. I don't know if you have that on your.
Nothing special. Not anything special with that. No.
Snoop has a couple things he always says at the end of.
Go ahead. Just go and say it. Go and say it.
And I do, of course, and I remember all of this. But first off, that all being said, I want to just go ahead and say thank you to Soul here for joining us on the show. It's been a really, really fun time, actually. You even got us to add a video. I don't think we'd ever do that. So, again, thank you for wanting to do this with us.
Yeah.
We've never done a show YouTube celebrity. So.
Sure, yeah, celebrity, yeah, we'll say that, yeah, sure.
More than us.
People watch your stuff. Some people that mostly related to us want to listen to our show, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's related, it's close. It's not far off.
But no, seriously, thank you for joining us.
Of course, yeah.
We'll leave a description to check it out. Again, watch this Transformers comic. Are you still doing that, sir? Please, get one.
I can do another one because they just released a third one. It wouldn't take me long to finish that.
Think about it. Like I said, I'm having.
I don't mind. I mean, like, if folks really want me to do it, say right now, I'll go and do some more. Like, I know it's like the third one. I think a fourth was coming out pretty soon. But yeah, I'll do it again. I don't mind. They're fun.
Well, it's fun watching you review them. And if anyone watching this wants to do one, you can let me have an email right into it.
Oh yeah, we have an email. It's thecomicsologyclub@gmail.com. No, you can do this. Thecomicsologyclub at 0-0-8 studios.
There it is. He gets it on the second time every month.
You got it.
It's just the drinks that really throw me off.
So yes, you can let us.
Sure it is.
You can let us know.
Also,
if you want
rain.
Yeah, that's the problem. But yeah, let us know if you want SoulStar do some things. We'll pass things along. Thank you for being on the show. And tell us what you want us to read next time. We're actually doing, we're going to have another guest, big young guest at the beginning of the year. We had two brothers last month, Ethan and Zach, do a Star Wars with us. We had Soul do an episode on Big Game this month. Next month, we're going to read Batman 89, Batman 89.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's definitely a good one. Yeah, read it.
Our friend ours, John, is going to join us on that. So see what Michael Keaton's Batman is up to in the years following Batman.
He's doing some shit. We'll say that he's doing some shit.
I hope it's weird and like Tim Gothic or like it's really awesome.
Not far off. You might see a couple of celebrities in there. I'm just saying.
I'm saying a celebrity. Who's that person?
I think you might recognize one. I think a couple at least. There's a couple of them in there.
I think I just half of a person.
I would say if you don't recognize at least one of them, I'm gonna be really ashamed. I'm like, come on, man. If you've seen one of those movies, you should recognize the celebrity right away.
Okay. Well, you put a lot of pressure on me, which honestly I appreciate.
I'll be disappointed if you don't figure it out. I'm like, come on, man. It's right there.
I'll leave it. If I recognize it or don't recognize it, I'll leave it on. I guess so you can help.
Fair enough.
But yes,
I'm gonna give a new video like, it's right there, motherfucker. It's right there. God damn.
I need to shout out.
And you can find me on the X, I guess.
I think it's just X now. They took out the.
Just X.
Yeah.
I guess it's Twitter still too. You can still go on Twitter. Mike Higgins 93, and you can find me on Instagram at JSTER93. You can find Snoop at Instagram on Snoop_Lynch. That's it. I think. And then you can find SoulStar Sketchin as SoulStar Sketchin art on YouTube. And I don't know if you want to plug any other things that you do.
Let's see. I have a YouTube. No, I say YouTube. I have a Twitter. I have links. You can got my links for my videos. It's right there. All the links are right there, dude. But
it's just right in the YouTube then.
Yeah, I was writing YouTube. Yeah, I'll just put it in there. I'll slide on my page or something. I don't know.
All right. So
it's so long. Like, it's just look down there. Damn it, they're right there.
He'll have them right there.
Here a little bit, putting some of the work.
Do the YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Just do the thing.
Like, comment, let it be on YouTube too for the first time. My face.
Yeah.
Does it look good?
No.
Does it look?
You look right.
I see a little bit of seed.
Keep going. A little more.
There you go. It's perfect now.
That looks disgusting.
We're all in this together. But we will call that SoulStar. He's busy man. Got things to do, YouTube video to make, whatever else he does.
Special errands, blah blah blah.
Usual. But we appreciate you getting on the show. We'd love to do something.
Of course.
Big fun. But join Higgins and I next month for the Batman book. Keep an eye out for what Souls do. And I always at the end of every episode I say cheers, guys. And I also remind Higgins he needs to get an egg in him.
Well, I always get that egg in.
I don't even remember what it's from, but it's a thing that I've committed to for whatever reason.
One of the episodes.
Don't you want to know? I want to know. No, don't tell me.
I want to know.
I want the context. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Sure it is.
You want me to do?
Yeah. So what would you like to comment?
I will say, first off, listen to these guys' podcasts. I'll listen to a few of them. Not bad at all. Very worth listening to. Yes, definitely. And I will also say, of course, obviously, the most obvious thing I have to say for any YouTube, please like, sub, share, subscribe.
Oh, yeah, the YouTube thing.
Hit a bell icon.
I'll slap a bell icon. Like, me in editing on this right now. I don't care if I cut this out or not. Slap that goddamn bell, okay? Right now. Just do it. Slap my face. I don't give a shit. Whatever you gotta do.
Do it for him. He gave you content. Just do that one thing for him. Alright. They will do that. I will do that. Higgins, what will you do to change?
I'm just gonna be like, game over.
Perfect.
3. That's it. That's the end of the podcast.
Alright. Not bad at all.
Microphone's off. You can't see my face anymore.